Welcome to the Simplicity of Wellness podcast. I'm Amy White, holistic nutritionist, life coach, and weight loss specialist. If you're tired of overcomplicating food, battling your body, and starting over every Monday, you're in the right place. Here we talk about what actually works, simple shifts in food, mindset, and habits that lead to lasting change. Let's dive in. Welcome back, Simplifiers. It's good to have you here. If you're new, welcome. I'm Amy White, a board-certified holistic nutritionist and life coach. Today, we're getting into something that goes a little deeper than protein grams and meal timing. But I promise, by the end of this episode, you're going to understand why this one shift changes everything about how the nutrition piece of your healthy lifestyle lands. So stay with me. I'm going to start with a question, and I want you to actually sit with it for a second before you answer. How do you want to feel? Not what do you want to weigh, not what size do you want to fit into. How do you want to feel on a regular Tuesday? Not the best day of your life, just a normal day. Think about that. If you're like most of the women I work with, that question just gave you a little pause because the answer isn't as clear as you'd expect. Most of us know exactly what we don't want. We've been running from it for years. And that distinction is exactly what we're talking about today. I'm going to describe a woman I know really well. She wakes up in the morning and the first thing that runs through her mind is something she doesn't want. She doesn't want to step on the scale. She doesn't want to feel bloated at 2 p.m. She doesn't want to eat candy out of the candy jar at work. She doesn't want to overeat at dinner again. She gets dressed and avoids the clothes that are too tight. She thinks about what she ate yesterday. She calculates whether she was good or bad. She makes a promise to herself that today will be different. And she means it. Every single time, she means it. This is what I call moving away motivation, and it feels like fuel, but it's not. Moving away motivation is powered by discomfort, by what you're done with, by the version of yourself you want to escape. And here's the thing about discomfort as a fuel source that's confusing. It works for a while. It can get you started. It can get you through a Monday, maybe even a whole week. But discomfort isn't a destination. It's just a feeling you're trying to outrun. And eventually, the discomfort dulls. You settle into it. The urgency fades. The memory of how bad you felt starts to blur. And then the motivation disappears. You've probably noticed this. You started strong. Then somewhere around week 2 or 3, the fire just goes out. And you can't figure out why, because nothing has changed. Your goals are the same. The plan is the same. You're just not doing it. This is not a discipline problem. This is a fuel problem. Now let me describe a different woman. She also wants to change how she eats. She also wants to lose weight. But when I ask her why, she gives me a different kind of answer. She says, I want to be excited to be in the photo instead of trying to hide in the back. I want to walk 20,000 steps through a new city with my husband and feel good doing it. I want to get through the afternoon focused and productive without needing sugar to get there. I want to sit down to dinner and actually taste the food and be part of the conversation. I want to get dressed in the morning and just get dressed, knowing anything I grab will fit. I want to stop living like I'm waiting to start. That's not running away from something. That's moving towards something. And that kind of clarity, that pulls you. It doesn't push you. Moving toward motivation is powered by something completely different. It's powered by a vision, a version of your daily life that you actually want, a feeling you can describe, not just a number you're trying to hit. And when that's what's pulling you, the days that feel hard are different. Because you're not trying to escape something, you know where you're going, and that changes everything about how you make decisions along the way. Think about it this way. 2 women, both in motion, but one is being chased, confused, exhausted, and one is being pulled, excited, inspired. Which one do you think lasts longer? When I work with women one-on-one, one of the first things I ask is, how do you want to feel? And you know what I get back almost every time? A very long pause, followed by something like, I haven't really thought about it that way. Because here's what we've been trained to do. We've been trained to identify what's wrong, to measure what's missing, to focus on the gap between where we are and where we should be. Diet culture is built on that gap. Every program you've ever tried led with what you were doing wrong, what you were eating wrong, how you were failing yourself. It handed you a list of rules and told you the problem was you. Now, I'm sure you've heard me talk about protein, sugar, insulin, and how your body processes food. And that might sound like more of the same. But here's the difference. I'm not telling you that you're the problem, because you're not. I'm not handing you another list of rules and telling you to try harder. I'm explaining why your body's been working against you and what it actually needs to work with you. Because when you understand the why, the what to eat stops feeling like discipline and starts feeling like logic. And none of that is on you, because nobody ever shared the other piece of the health and wellness conversation. Nobody stopped to ask you, how do you actually want to feel? Not weigh, not look, feel. And when I ask that question and a woman finally answers it, something shifts. Not because the answer is magical, but because for the first time, she's orienting towards something real instead of away from something she's ashamed of. So let me ask you again. And this time, try to answer in one sentence. Not a goal, not a number, just a feeling, a version of a normal day that would tell you something's changed. How do you want to feel on a regular Tuesday 6 months from now? That answer is your direction. And direction is what turns good intentions into actual change. Let's bring this back to your body because this podcast is rooted in metabolic health and I never want to stay in theory too long. Here's what I see happen when a woman is running away from something. She's in stress mode. Even when she's doing everything right, her nervous system is operating from a place of urgency. And chronic stress does something very specific to your metabolism. It keeps your cortisol elevated. It disrupts blood sugar regulation. It makes your body hold on to fat as a protective mechanism. Your body doesn't know the difference between the stress of running from an angry dog and the stress of hating what you see in the mirror. Biochemically, it's the same signal. You cannot out-discipline a stressed nervous system. The biology doesn't care about your willpower. But when you shift into moving towards something, the experience is different. You're not negotiating with yourself through meals or throwing your hands up and eating everything in sight. You're making decisions from a completely different place, not from deprivation, not from guilt, from a clear picture of how you actually want to feel. And that changes everything about how your body responds. This is also why the tools we use in this work matter so much. When you know what your meals are supposed to feel like, when hunger becomes information instead of failure, you start making decisions from a completely different place. Hunger isn't punishment. Cravings aren't weakness. They're data. And when you have a clear vision of how you want to feel, that data starts to mean something because you're listening to your body as a partner in getting you somewhere you actually want to go. Structure, not restriction, metabolic rhythm, a real, repeatable approach that works with your biology, not against it. This is what moving toward feels like in your body. Here's what I'd like you to leave with today. You settled into this episode knowing what you don't want. You've known that for a long time. That's not the problem. The problem is that nobody ever helped you get equally clear on what you do want, what a regular, unremarkable Tuesday actually feels like when you're on the other side of this. That clarity is not a luxury. It's not the step you get to after you lose the weight. It's the thing that gets you there. When protein goes up, food noise goes down. But when vision goes up, food becomes what it was always supposed to be. Information. You're not someone who needs more rules. You don't need another program that tells you what you've been doing wrong. You need a direction, a real one, a version of your day that you're actually building toward, and the right information to get your body back in balance so natural weight loss becomes the outcome, not the obsession. If you're not sure how to find that yet, or if you've been stuck running from the same things for a while now, that is exactly the conversation I want to have with you. Book a free 60-minute coaching session with me because doing this alone, without anyone helping you get clear on where you're actually going, is why Monday morning keeps starting with you saying to yourself, this week will be better. The link is in the show notes. It's called Transformation Starts Here because that's what this is. Thanks for being here. and I'll be back in the next episode.